everyone, welcome to the next part, the second part of this little series from Wonderful Wildflowers by Johanna Basford. If you haven't seen the first one, you probably be best to go off and do that before coming back to see this part. We're going to be dealing with all the florals, leaves and things like that, toadstools today. I'm going to come in a tad close and have a little think. Now, I did say about doing the flowers in blue. I'm still quite keen on that idea, so I think that's what I'm going to do, and I am going to start with the flowers. Now, Polychromos pencils do have quite a good range of different blues. We have the turquoisey blues, you know, and we have the phthalo blues and the sort of ultramarine type blues, as well as a few other really dark ones. I think I'm looking at the colours here and what's going to match, and I think it might be our ultramarine and cobalt blues that will match best, so I think that's where I'm going to start. So the sky blue is actually the sort of lightest one of those sorts of, that sort of blue family, I suppose. And I'm going to do these little bell ones here, but I will come in closer for you. Quite far away, aren't we? There we go, that should be close enough. So we have three little bell ones here. I'm just having a look. We do have some more up here, look, but they're the other way up. And I'm contemplating whether to do them the same. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to do these first, and I'm just going to do them quite simply by trying to layer up a little more at the top and less towards the bottom of our little bell, like that, and then the same on the others as well. Nice and straightforward with this very light blue. With any light colours really, I'm just going to sharpen it. It's quite difficult to get very much intensity, so oh, I've broken the lead. So it is a good idea to, if you do want an intense colour, to use something a little bit darker, but with a pastel-y shade. That is what you would expect. I've got pencil sharpenings everywhere. That was probably after the mess I made in the last video, which was before lunch. I went off and had lunch and then came back for this bit. I had a little walk in between as well, so that was nice. Didn't go far, just wanted to have a look at the autumn leaves and the fact that there was a fire engine that came down our road last night, and we were being ultra nosy and trying to see if we could see any evidence of anything. This is the light ultramarine. I think I'm going to do these. I'm going to spread the colours round a bit, but I'm going to do them dark at the top and lighter at the bottom, just like the others. Yes, but we didn't see any evidence of anything, and there were some very pretty autumn leaves. They haven't been that way since the leaves have been changing, so that was rather nice. Just me and husband. It wasn't a very long walk at all, but you know, I just thought post lunch, a little stroll just before I get back, because I've been so concentrated on doing this, you know, and I'm not going to get the chance to go out tomorrow, so it was just like Now I'm looking at these four next, and I'm wondering if they're all the same. I think they are, but I'm wondering about these little petals that are set behind. I think what I'm going to do is do the top petals in one colour and the ones behind in a slightly different colour. Why not? So let's mix it up just a tad. So I'm tentatively sharpening it, hoping I don't break another pencil. So this is the ultramarine. Now you can see we've got the lines here, which makes me want to make it more intense here. And because this is a darker colour, it's much easier, I find, to fade it like that. And we'll do that on all of these, like that. I think this colour works with the light magenta behind. I'm just going to intensify that a little bit more and work around. So it's Sunday today, and we have our dancing show results show, and my brain is sort of, while I'm supposed to be thinking about flowers, is pondering who's going to leave. I've got my favourites, as you do in these sorts of shows, but someone has to leave each week, and to start with I didn't want it to be anyone, you know. I really enjoyed everybody, but now I'm sort of thinking there are a few that I would prefer to keep, because we're almost forced to think about it, you know. And we'll see what happens. But there are a lot of really high scores this week. So, but last week there was a bit there were 10 people competing, I think, maybe 11, and the second place and the fourth place were the lowest ranked by the because the judges vote and then you get a scoreboard, and then viewers can then vote on who they want to save. So people with low scores often get a lot more votes because they're their favourites, people want to save them. And the judges put the people who were against each other at the end, they call it a dance off, to see who were the second place and the fourth place, so really high up on a sort of 10-11 place leaderboard, but 5 people had the same score, so that made it really interesting, and I just couldn't call it. So it was makes it a bit of fun. Also got the final of the Traitors this week, the Celebrity Traitors. Another show I've got quite invested into. I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I get really involved, as you would have noticed if you listen to me yapping on about them. So I think I want quite a darker colour, and I'm actually going to grab this one. This is the Helio Blue Reddish, so going really quite dark. I think it'll, oops, drop my sharpener again. I think it'll make a nice contrast. So I'm still going to fade it to the tip, but I think having this nice dark colour works quite well. Now the flower centres, I've been thinking about these, whether to do them the same as I did with the orange flowers on the door, or whether to do them all differently to each other or something. I'm still pondering that as well. There's a lot to ponder. And we have these little stars as well. You know, do I do them in silver, gold, pen, pencil, glitter? There's a lot to decide, and I can understand why people take a long time over pages with all these decisions that need to be made. But what I tend to do is I sort of make the decision as I'm colouring. So if there's a bit I know what to do with, I do that, and then I can make other decisions while I'm colouring. Now we have basically these flowers left to colour. It's very, oh, there's another, I've just spotted another set actually, but it is very leafy, this page, rather than flowery. Now I feel that these and these are the same, so I'm going to colour those the same. I've grabbed this pencil. This is the cobalt blue, but I'm not going to do, yeah, I think I will do these with it. Now I've got that little centre in there, but not on these. I'm going to colour these while I think. Do you see what I mean? So I procrastinate that decision making I've got to do over there while I colour this. I really like that sort of intensity of it all being the same colour. So I think I'm going to do that on those over there. I'm going to ignore that little circle. Maybe that's naughty. Maybe you won't want to do that. You know, it's completely up to you. You know, Johanna obviously thinks we should put something different in the middle there, but I'm just ignoring her. Sorry, Johanna. But I'm colouring over it. I know she does like a bit of creativity, so I'm sure she wouldn't mind. Not that she's watching this video. But I'm sure she, like me, doesn't really have time to watch videos. I rarely watch them. I've got one to watch actually today, but it's a TED talk. It's not, you know, it's not a colouring video. But husband said this might be interesting. So, okay, I'll listen to it while I'm cobalt blue greenish. I'm going to use this for these, I think. Oh, I missed one. Look at that. Here's me. They were sky blue, weren't? No, light ultramarine. You should have told me. There we go. Okay, so sorry to cobalt blue greenish. Yeah, so I'll have a little listen to that while I'm editing this video, I think. Although I've got a family chat later. We changed the time today. Yeah, we changed the time because the clocks have changed. And it gets dark really early. What my parents usually do is we have a chat for an hour, 2 till 3. Then they go out and get a coffee. But my mum doesn't like being out in the dark. so they want to be back before it's dark. So they said if we could make the chat later, they could go out and have an early coffee straight after lunch and have a little mooch around town or whatever, you know. They don't walk very fast, it takes them a little while, but that's okay. They get out and that's really good. So they want to do that, so they want to change the time. So we were going to do it first thing, just before lunch. And then my sister was like, I can't, I'm right in the middle of something. So we're going to do it a little bit later. This colour looks quite similar to that colour, doesn't it? Hey ho. Now we've got these ones to do. And I'm going to use the Prussian blue. Again, I'm going to try and fade to the tip, but it just may not really, you might not really notice. Yeah, so we're having a bit of a chat later. But the problem is that it's quite difficult to find a time that suits everybody, even though, like, people have different times they want to get up. Not everyone eats at the same time, cooks at the same time, that sort of thing. You know, people want to go out, or, you know, it can get really complicated. And my sister's like, do it in the evening. And I'm like, well, no, because evenings are tricky for me. I'm tired for a start, so I don't feel like yapping. And at the moment, while my dancing show's on, there's a programme on at 6:30. We eat at 6. And then I get father-in-law, he often phones at 7. And if my husband isn't here, then I have a nice chat with him. We have got another couple of different flowers down here. We've got these and these, but we're going to stick with the blues because if we don't, it's going to look awfully odd. So I'm going to use the indanthrene blue for, I think for this one. Now with this plant, I want to fade it. I want to make it darker at the top of each of the sections and fade it downwards. It's going to take some effort, to be honest. There we go. I think that's sort of working. It's quite tricky in a small space. If you can't do it, do not worry. Just block it in. I'm sure it'll look really pretty. You can always put some little white dots or some sort of sparkle on it or something if you feel like you want it to stand out. I can hear my dryer beeping. We've washed the sheets today. We always do on a Sunday. Quite often we get a bit of free electricity on a Sunday, so it's quite useful. But at the moment it's sunny, so our solar panels are working, so we won't have to, they're not good enough to run everything. You know, there's computers on and lights on and all sorts of things, but it will help, so that's good. I'm just going to go back up here and just put in a bit more here, like that. I don't know how visible it is really. My last colour is going to be the indigo, dark indigo. And we have these little daisy-like flowers down here. I am going to use it reasonably delicately and fade it towards the tip of each petal. My nose is running. It's probably because I've only just come in. You know how when you go for, it's quite chilly out. I put on a little fleece. I didn't put on much more, but when the wind blew, I was like, oh, it's quite cold. But anyway, it was fine. Yeah, I think I am going to use one yellow for all the centres, I've decided, but I'm not going to use the one we used before. I'm going to use a slightly more lemony yellow, I think. Just having a look. Light yellow glaze is my pencil of choice. I'm not using the cadmium yellow lemon. It's a little bit too greeny for my liking, for what I want to achieve here. So here we are, the light yellow glaze, and I'm going to use it for all of them. And those obviously don't have middles, but up here these are quite teeny. I've got to be a bit careful not to overlap the petals too much, or else we're going to end up with a bit of a green splodge, which isn't what I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to do the leaves next, and then do the mushrooms at the end, I think. Right, now down here at the bottom we have these two look like they match. I'm just going to come out a tad. Do you see, because we've got these sorts of leaves that look similar to each other, and these I'm going to do some similar colours. So we're going to look at some greens. Where should we start? Let's start with a hooker's green, and I'm going to do these ones with the lines now. So hooker's green, what I'm going to do, I'll start here so you can see. I'm going to start at the bottom with a more intense bit and then fade it, a bit like we did down here with these, and it helps to give the leaf a little bit of shape, and it just makes it fun to colour, I find. I'm just going to do all of those the same way, and I will look, I've just tried to look there, but I'm going to go out of the lines if I do that. If there are any more, there aren't any more on higher up the page. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it was lovely to be out, a little bit of sunshine, shining on the autumnal leaves, and yeah, our street is such an interesting mix as well. There's houses, there's flats, there's privately owned, there's rented, there's local authority owned, there's all sorts going on. So, and it's always a surprise. Some houses are absolutely beautiful, well kept, painted front doors, lovely pots outside, flowers and everything neat. And then other houses not quite so much so. People obviously not having quite the time or resources to be able to put in that sort of effort. So it is interesting. I do feel like I need to put some more effort into our house a little bit. Our front door could do with a wash, but I do it every so often, but it gets grubby. And but we don't really have room for anything. These houses have quite big driveways compared to ours. Basically, our driveway fits our car, and that's it. And we have a little bit of space where we shove our bins, and that's it. You know, I used to have a little pot out the front with some flowers in and things, which was really nice, but we don't have space now because we've got to have a bin there. So, ugh. But anyway, I do the best I can. Don't always have a lot of time to be doing that, and you wonder whether it's really going to make much difference. You know, I do think I could put the bins in the garage. There isn't actually room. And then I'd have room for a pot, but yeah. But also, if our neighbours all had their bins away, I wouldn't keep ours out because it looks a bit rubbishy. Haha, excuse the pun. But because we've got flats next door, they don't have garages. You've got nowhere to put it. They have to have them out there. There's nowhere else for them. But anyway, it is what it is. We do the best we can. We're very lucky. I'm always feeling very grateful that we own a house that we've managed to pay off. You know, we started off struggling to meet all the payments and, you know, and that sort of thing, but eventually we're able to squirrel away a bit of money each month and pay it off. So it's really nice feeling. And now we're sort of beginning to build up a bit of savings, which means that we'll be able to help the children out if they need it, you know. There we go. So there are those two sets which match. Where to now? I'm going to use quite a dark green now. I don't see why I shouldn't. Sometimes I avoid using this green because it is very dark, the deep cobalt green, but why not? Let's use it for this here. I'm going to try and fade to the tip, but might not quite work on such a small bit. And then this one here, And then I'm going to have a look and see if there's any more to do with this one, because there's probably lots of other little leafy bits. There's some there here, but they seem to be part of this, so I'll probably do all that the same colour. I can see some here. Look, these. We'll do these same. There we go. This one overlapping the door, of course, but I think this colour works quite well next to the pink and purple, which is good. There we go. I think I'll leave that one. Leave. I'm hilarious. I hope you're all laughing, rolling around with hilarity. This is the dark phthalo green. We're going to go back to the bottom and do these. There aren't any like it on the other side. My son's laughing next door. I can hear him. He must have heard my good joke. Oh dear. Oh mum, your mum jokes, they're awful. They're worse than dad's dad jokes. Oh wow. My dad always used to say, better to be smiling. So yeah. Yep. Now we've got this little bunch here which I think look quite similar. I'm going to do them in the same colour. The problem is my dad would say better to be smiling, but he'd be the only one laughing at his joke. Oh, poor dad. He used to like having a bit of a joke with his grandsons, but they've sort of, not my boys, his other grandsons, but they've sort of grown out of joke books and things now. Mine were never really into them in the first place. I'm going to use the emerald green next because I want something a little bit different for all these ones that are left down here. Let's come across a bit so you can see. I'm going to try and fade to the tip, but again, do your best, see what happens. That's what I'm doing. I sometimes think I'm just talking to myself. Do your best, see what happens. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me. Giving myself a little boost. And why not? I'm wondering what colour I'm going to colour this grass. Now we've got all these bluey greens. This bit down here. I mean, I suppose it doesn't have to be grass. It could be soil. Could do it brown, but that might be a bit ick. A bit hick. I don't know. I'll have a think, like I have been, planning it out as I go. I find it's quite a good way to distract yourself from things because you're planning and thinking all the time. Sometimes if I've planned something out already, then my mind can start to wander, and sometimes that's fine. Depends on what I'm thinking about, I guess. I am going to use this colour. I think I want those two to be different. Up here on this one and this one, they've got a few little leaves. I just figure I'm going to put a little bit on them. They just need a colour, and I think this one will work basically. There we go. Now, what's this colour? The chrome oxide green fiery. Big mouthful of a name of a colour. I always find that I always sometimes avoid it because I can't be bothered to write it down in the description with all the colour names, but we need all the colours. So yeah, I'm going to do this one. Again, I'm trying to fade it, but yeah, it probably won't. So there we go. No, we don't have one on this side. Do we have anything like it up here? Not really. Oh yes, we do. Here, look. I'm going to do this one, but also I've just spotted something a bit lower down. Here, look. Can you see this little viney bit? Is that in shot? Yeah. Just checking my little camera viewfinder. It's really small. It's lucky I can see reasonably well. Anything else? No, I think I'm going to leave that there for now. Now I'm going to grab the phthalo green. And we're going to, oh, we could have done a few other bits, but never mind. I think I can do this huge area here. It's quite a big bit to do. I mean, you might think it should be the same colour as this, but excuse me, this is really similar colour, so it's fine. I'm trying to work out what's going on here. Oh, that's a bit of the pink there that I missed, isn't it? Did you notice that? Or is that just a bit of... Where does it go through here, though? I don't know what that line is. I'm just going to colour over it. I think this looks a bit like a Virginia creeper or an ivy or something growing on our edge of our building. Yeah, I have to grab my light magenta in a minute. You may have noticed that yesterday. And this little one as well, I think it's all part of the same plant. But you might want to colour it slightly different colour. I'm getting cramp. Ooh. Up my arm, not in my hand. I think I'm pressing too hard. Oh, I can hear a car alarm going off. Got a car sales place near here. They're always going off. I don't mind it in the day. It gets a bit frustrating at night, but this is what it is. Right, now I'm going to go for this one. This is our pine green. It's quite dark. I can do it up the top here in the middle. This sort of these. Again, I'm just going to fade to the tip. I haven't done my window. Just noticed. I thought I'd made up my mind what colour I was doing for that. Oh well, we'll get there. So I'm trying to think what day this is going out on and whether you would have had your books. I think USA would have had them by now. I'm not sure about UK because the release date's a couple of days after. Well, I hope you've all got your books. I hope you're all able to colour along or just colour something. Enjoy your books, look through them, enjoy them. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I hope you're all getting your books soon. I know some people's aren't being dispatched until release day, and it's be a little bit frustrating, but maybe they'll come early. Maybe the book fairy will be kind. There we go. Now next I'm going to use the juniper green. I think I'm going to use it down here on this bit. Needs a sharpen, that's for sure. I may reuse some of the ones I've used already because I want the slightly more bluey greens, and I'm running out. So I don't know why I sneeze. It's really weird. I've not got a cold or anything, but quite often when I'm recording in here I sneeze. It's probably quite dusty in here. In fact, I never dust in here, so that could have something to do with it. Yeah, it's a really awkward room to get into, in that because it's so narrow. You have to walk in and basically sit down, and there's no room for anyone else in here. It's a single bedroom size, so you couldn't fit a double bed in here. You can fit a double bed in here, but you can't fit anything else in apart from the bed. It's that small. But we've got stuff in here, so that's the problem. There's all sorts of stuff. It's our junk room, I suppose. Trying to decide whether to use this colour elsewhere. I like it. I'm going to use it down here on these bits. So it's a junk room, so it's got shelves of stationery, there's books, there's bits and bobs, there's Christmas wrapping paper, you know, everything stuff. There's basically anything that you don't want anywhere else comes in here. Including me, apparently. Right, up here we have these little leaves just on the edge of here. I am going to choose, yeah, I'm going to use this darker green, the deep cobalt green for these. There we go. Just concentrating, making sure I don't miss any out. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to do this magenta, light magenta. So the light magenta. Oh, you can't read that, can you? And just this bit in here. I think it would come up here a little bit too, but not all the way. I'm going to just put a bit in there. There we go. It doesn't want to be too heavy because I faded it out towards the edge. Okay, now we have a cluster of leaves here. We have this bit that's coming up from here into it. What's that colour? No, that's no good. We'll grab something else. I used the, oh no, I'm going to use the emerald green. Is that it there? Yeah, the emerald green. I think I'm going to use the emerald green for these leaves here. I just wanted to make sure I didn't use that colour, but I can't tell you what it is, but I know it's not emerald, so yeah, I didn't want the same colour next to each other. Like that. Just trying to fade a little bit to the tip. Then we have this one. I think I'll go for the phthalo green. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Phthalo green. Yeah. I think I'm going to do them all the same. So these centre ones look a bit different, don't they? Maybe, no, I know. If I do the centre ones in this colour, then I could, oh, no, is that a centre one there? I'm a bit confused. Is that a leaf there? And there. There we go. And I'm going to do this bit in this colour down here. Can you see how far does it go? Yeah. And down here, and these little bits, little ones, and the ones up here. And then I'm going to use the dark phthalo green. Here is dark phthalo green to do these ones, and I'm going to do these using the same style I did the ones at the bottom. So remember, a darker bit here, and then fading up. Same here, dark here, fade up. There we go. Same with this one. It's been such fun choosing which designs to colour from this book. I'm sort of looking at what I've got, what spaces I've got in my recording schedule and which videos I can move around and things like that, and thinking, right, I needed something that fitted in one space, and this one I knew I had two spaces, so I could do a two-parter. So partly my choice of what to colour depends on how long I think it's going to take to colour it. This one has actually taken longer than I expected, but hey ho. I thought it would be a going to do this one and this one all in the pine green. I think that'll look quite nice in a dark colour. Yeah, I thought it would be a two-parter. It really could have been a three. But hey ho, it's fine. I'm just going to sharpen this. Now I am going to do the stars next, because I think I might forget them otherwise. Now, I think they would be nice and some sparkles and things like that, but I'm going to just do them in the green gold. because they're quite small, green gold, and it makes it easy. But also I don't want glitter all in my book over the next page. I don't want glitter over the next page. So I'm going to just do them in the gold. You could use a gold metallic pen and that doesn't deposit glitter everywhere. I could have done that, but I'm just using a pencil today. That's what I want to do. Excuse me. I'm going to do the key in the same. I obviously, if you follow me, you'll know I do know how to colour gold in coloured pencils, but I feel like these shapes are so small that it's easier just to colour it in green gold, and I think it still does look gold. Now, window, before I do the toadstools / mushrooms, I'm going to do the window. I'm going to do it in this colour, which is light chrome yellow, like that. And then I'm going to get, doesn't want to come out, the dark cadmium yellow, and just go around the edges a little bit. It helps the glass to look like it's set back if you can put a little bit of a darker edge round. Right, mushrooms. I want to do these in red. I'm going to do them all the same because I think having some matching, we match these leaves, I think it's just going to give it a bit more, I just think it'll look better. I can't get the right words. So this is the deep red. I'm going to start off quite dark at the bottom, lots of layers, nice and intense, and then taper it off towards the top a little bit so it's lighter, just like we were doing with our leaves. There we go. Same with this one. We're going to do the same with all of them. Now we could leave these little circles white, or we could go over them with a white pen to make them stand out even more because the paper isn't white. Or we could do them a different colour. I like them white, so I'm just going to leave them white. Whether I do some pen or not, I'm not sure yet. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to finish this off. There is that one. Now, the stems. I'm just going to do them in a lightish warm grey. So this is warm grey 3. Again, they're all going to match. I do like to make the stems darker on one side than the other, but these are too thin. How is that thin stem holding up that? Who knows? Now, underneath here, we have some dots as if we've got some sort of soil or green going on down here. I'm going to actually use a soft pastel just to put a little bit in. I'm just going to move my pencils out of the way. There we go. I'm going to move my page over, put my pastels here. Usually do it the other way around, but it depends which side the picture is on, so let some come out as far as I can. There we go. Push my book under there. Make sure my paper's there protecting. Okay, now I'm going to get a clean pad. Believe it or not, that is clean. It's been washed, it's stained. And I'm going to get a colour for down here. I want like a grass green. We've got this quite bright green here. I'm just going to put a bit onto the, yeah, that looks right. and I'm just going to put a bit on under here. Now I can rub it over the leaves and things because they're the same colour. So, and I'm not going to go all the way down to the edge of the page. I'm just going to sort of go around this bottom bit a little bit, like that. And then we're going to get some blue and just go around the top a little bit. I want a light blue. We've got this really light blue. I think that might be a bit too light. See, I've used it a lot. See how that looks. Whether it shows up. It shows up a tiny bit. Try it once more. May have to go darker. I'm just going to sort of do an arch round. I'm not going to go right to the edge of the page. Can you even see that? You can see a bit there, can't you? Yeah. It's going to be hard to see this bit because it's where the glare of the lamp is. And because the green gold is resisting it, so it's not going green, although my flower centres are going green. And the blue and yellow makes green, but never mind. If that happens to you and you don't like it, go over your flower centres with some yellow pen. Or white, if you like the idea of a white flower centre. And if your stars go green, then you can just use a gold pen, which you may have done anyway. There we go. It's really faint and vague, and I'm happy with that effect. I don't want too much on there, although saying that, I have missed a bit out here. This star hasn't got any around it. There we go. Right, my last step is to get a white pen and to do those mushrooms. I want to make those little circles white because I think they've gone blue. Just put the pastels away. Just grabbing a white pen. I'm going to go inside the black line. I'm not going to delete the black line because I find that if that happens, it makes the rest of the black lines look a bit odd. Now you could now with your pen do some white dots if you wanted inside in the flowers, on the flowers, if you want to, but I don't think white dots match orange flowers particularly well. So let's come in. Actually, no, we don't need to come in. We just need to hold it up for a photo. So I'm not going to do it. I could do it on the blue ones only, but I think that's going to look a little bit odd. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So we've got a little vague blueness around it, a little vague greenness at the bottom. I didn't want to make it too much. There we go. So there we are. That is that one finished. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that one. I really did. I loved it. It's such a lovely picture. I wouldn't do it again though. I wouldn't do a brown door this time, and a grey wall and multicoloured flowers. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.